They've been with LifeVantage, as I say, for 14 years. This man is on the science advisory board of LifeVantage, and he has been one of the main, these two people have been one of the main people going through the trial and everything for the GLP. So we're super excited that they're here and that they're going to be able to share with you about LifeVantage, but also about GLP activation and what it's all about. So I'd like to hand it over to you guys.
Hey, so we're everybody else. Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for your time. I know there's other things you could be and probably would want to be doing other than coming to hear some strangers from America talk tonight, but I'm so blessed and honored that you're here, and I know Marci is the same. Just for our own understanding, if you are hearing this information for the very first time and you're a guest, would you please raise your hand so we know? Okay, wonderful. The information is really for you. It's going to share some information with you. We're going to talk about some wonderful products. We're going to talk about a wonderful company that it's actually been almost 16 years. So in May will be 16 years ago that I joined LifeVantage as the 114th person to get involved in this company. I was one of the first 150 invited. And so my background, I've been a family wellness chiropractor for 27 years. I am a health educator by passion. I was a former AM radio talk show host for several years and a firefighter in Tucson, which is 2 hours south of where we live, heard me on the radio and called me to share a product with me after hearing me on the radio. And it was this product here, Protandim. And it was a product I was already taking. I already had about 30 of my patients on it, testing it out. And how I got to know about it is a doctor that I referred patients back and forth from. His name was Dr. Brian Archambault. He's a medical, actually a homeopathic and naturopathic medical doctor. We were playing racquetball. I'll be fully transparent. So is racquetball a sport that you all understand here? You know what it is? Not very popular anymore, but I wanted to have children at some point and wanted to be in cardiovascular fitness in case we had a boy, because I wanted to reign supreme over him. He just turned 19 and he's taller than me now, so I think it's time that he's passed me. But back 16 and a half, almost 17 years ago, playing racquetball with him, he was a former professional and was teaching me, and I got a little cocky one day and said, I hope you brought your A game today, because I was doing confident. Well, he let me score 2 points and then scored 21 straight points. And by the time he scored his last point, I was literally bleeding from every portion of my body, possibly bleed. And he gave me a bottle of this product here, Protandim, and said, you're going to need this. It's really good for inflammation. And we left the gym. Well, I was so humiliated a couple weeks later. I was seeing patients and Dr. Brian was on the phone and he said, hey, did you take that stuff I gave you? And I said, pardon my expression, I said, do you mean the ass kicking? I said, yes, I took it well, which is why you haven't seen me at the gym for the last 2 weeks. He said, no, that product. And I hadn't taken it. It was sitting on the shelf of my practice. I started taking it, and 5 days later, as we have it, I was in an American Rules football tournament and ruptured the ACL in my right knee. Tore the ligament, ruptures the medial meniscus, and had a horrific knee injury. Well, on that product, 5 days later, I could bend my knee at 90 degrees, and I had no inflammation and no pain. Now, it didn't heal, but it had significant reduction in inflammation, which he said it would, but not in the areas that he was referring to. Didn't know that I would have a knee injury. Well, it changed my life so much that I went down and bought it. It was a retail product, went down and put 30 patients on it and started having phenomenal results with them. And so my practice background is very similar to what an orthodontist will do with teeth that are crooked by putting braces and corrective apparatus. That's the kind of chiropractic practice that I had. I didn't have the traditional low back pain, headaches type of a practice. I corrected things like scoliosis and loss of neck curves and loss of lower back curves with exercises, stretches, and tractioning and neurologic rehabilitation. And so for me, it was the science behind that product that got me interested. And I got interested in it. I joined the company, became part of their basically their spokespeople. I've been involved on Marci and I were on our field advisory board. I've been on the scientific advisory board where we've come out with all new products for the past 3 years. And it's literally changed my entire life. In fact, I will tell you, It is the best personal and professional decision I ever made, was to become a spokesperson for this company. And now it's in 26 countries around the world. We have an incredible group of people that we work with every day. We get to travel all over the other side of the world to come meet strangers, most of you, and people to share this information with, hoping that it may have an impact on you. We will be here after we present the information in case there is any questions. We're simply here to educate you on some amazing scientific products and get into the science behind it, why it's important, why you should care about it, and why you're going to be hearing a lot more about it.
So for me, LifeVantage actually found me when I was at a really tough place. I had been in law enforcement for almost a decade, a police detective there at the end of it. I loved being in law enforcement because it gave me the opportunity to respond when people were at their greatest needs. I got bored easily, so regular desk jobs just didn't quite cut it for me. But when I started in law enforcement, my kids were 6 and 9. I was like the mom of the academy. I was 30 years old. And yet I found that I had a purpose in me to serve others at a really big level. My kids kind of enjoyed having them all come to, parents' work day too, in my uniform and all that kind of stuff, which was fun. But like many people, especially right now, I had a major change in my life without me expecting it in August of 2009. I was in a car accident on duty that ended my career. It's like that. It gave me a brain injury, several herniated discs throughout my spine. It required spine surgeries, and I started a major journey of loss. Not only was my mind not working for me, my body was in constant pain. I was on a lot of prescription medication, and now my kids were teenagers. And so mom was home all the time, but mom was not home, if you get what I'm talking about. And so I was not there and present for them for a lot of things that were difficult times in their life. Well, I ended up going through a divorce of a marriage that had already been struggling, and we lost the house. And needless to say, I ended up pretty depressed. And when I talked to my doctor, he instantly pulled out a white prescription pad, and I am guaranteeing you my name was already at the top of it because he had that written out so fast and given me more prescription medication that this time had warning labels on it that said may cause suicidal tendencies. I tried to take my life 4 times before very dear friends of mine saw information like what you're going to be seeing tonight about these products that can actually activate your body to work at a higher level so that no matter what you're faced with, your body can overcome. And I will be forever grateful that they shared it with me. So if you're here as a guest, just know that the person that invited you here tonight invited you to take a look at something that might change your life, or if exactly what someone you care about is looking for too. So for me, I noticed a difference like very quickly. I can't tell you that this is going to happen for everyone because as Dr. Dondee mentioned, this is a natural company. Our products are natural, and so they work inside of your body. Depending on what your body's gone through will be your response. But we know based off of our science, it works for everybody, which is phenomenal. So for me, in 3 days, I noticed a difference. My mind calmed. I can actually sleep without sleep medication I had been on for 18 months. Within the first week, I noticed a difference in my pain levels because we have 7 U.S. patents that show that Protandim, the product that Dondee was talking about, reduces inflammation, and it works with anti-fibrosis or scar tissue. And within a week, I noticed a difference in my pain. Within 5 weeks, I was off of the pain meds that they said I'd be on for the rest of my life. Another 5 weeks after that, working with the doctors, I was also off of those psychotropic medications that I had been on. So I was then prescription drug free, and my body could then start to take care of itself and heal itself. And that is when I knew that what I had in my hands was definitely powerful. And from that point, Dondee and I actually met in his company. We blended our families. We have 4 children, 2 that are 33 and 30, and we have our 4th grandchild on the way. And then our youngers are 19 and 16. We're actually flying from Sydney tomorrow into LA for our 16-year-old. Her team is going to be in the national cheerleading competition this weekend. They're the defending champs. So be praying, be cheery. It's like, go Guardians, right? So we are super, super excited. So yeah, we wouldn't mind the prayers. But we're super excited to be able to share with you this breakthrough technology and these products that, we are like the best kept secret out there.
because what we have truly is changing people's lives. And I will tell you that this product, Protandim NRF2, is potentially the most scientifically validated natural product in the world. And it is based off of the finished product, not on individual ingredients. So it's not borrowed science. It is science on this product. So that gives us confidence as well as talking about it. So hey, this is us. We didn't exactly go to the right slide when we shared our stories, but Dr. Dondee, Marci, and for you, for proper disclosures, just as I mentioned before, these are natural products that we're going to be talking about. So when you hear my story or when you hear someone else's story that's in the room that's been using some of these products, we want you to know that your journey is going to be different than anyone else's because you're an individual and you've had different things happen. And so just know that we know these products work. You'll come to find out that they do. Just make sure that you give yourself the proper expectations, that you allow them the time that they need, okay? So the company that sent us over here, the name is LifeVantage. We are very different than any other company out there. Can any of you think of any supplement companies? Come on. It's like everybody should be like, yeah, there's like thousands of different supplement companies around the world, right? Well, our company is an activation company. And you may be like, Marci, what's activation, right? Well, supplementation, that's when you take something trying to fill a void inside of your body, whether it's a enzyme or it is a protein or it is antioxidants, whatever it is. That's what supplements do, right? It's when you take something from a bottle trying to fill a void that has happened. Well, in activation, what it is it's going to go inside of your body and it's going to turn your body back on. It's going to flip switches in places where your body has gone to sleep. It's gone dormant in producing its own antioxidant enzymes, its own proteins, its own awesomeness, all by taking natural products that are compounds of different herbs and different things taken from the earth to be able to get the body working the way that it used to work when you were younger. I mean, any of you in here think of when you're like 18, 20 years of age and did you feel better back then or did you feel better now? Back then, right? It's because back then your body was producing all of these things that I'm talking about on a regular basis. And we're going to talk about why our bodies slow down or stop making them here in a couple slides. But I just wanted you to understand the difference between supplementation, that's filling a void or where we're depleted, and activation, turning something back on that has gone to sleep or has gone dormant, okay? It's a natural process. So we have got a phenomenal activation story. Started clear back in 2003 with that first product for Tandem NRF2. Axio, anybody in here love Axio? I love Axio. This is my energy, my mental clarity, my focus, my good mood in a bottle. And he loves it when I take it because that mood part especially, right? Anybody in here knows somebody that needs a better mood. Well, Axio does that, balances your brain chemistry. Then we have our second Protandim product in our family of Protandims, Protandim NRF1, which actually increases your mitochondria and gives you better cellular energy. And as you can see, hair care, clean green products, non-toxic, because anything you put on your head or on your skin will absorb into your body. What is on the other side of your hair? Your brain. Your brain, right? So did you also know that the skin on your head absorbs things much faster than the skin anywhere else? So why would we want to use any products that are toxic, right? Well, LifeVantage said, hey, we'll come up with a solution for that. And we did with our hair care, our skin care, and our liquid collagen that helps with the hair and the skin and the nails, but it also helps with every other organ. And so Dondee's going to talk more about that. But we're really excited. And the reason why we're in Australia, which we were Virgin Australia visitors before we got here, and now we're not. So we're so glad that we got to come to Australia. But MB Enhance, this is your mind-body system. This is the connection that has probably been broken for you for a long time. We're helping you get connected to your brain, to your gut, and turning on a hormone that is responsible for your relationship with food. So we're super excited to help you understand what is coming and how big it is for you personally and also for those people you care about. So with LifeVantage, we have an amazing catalog of products, and each one of those products solves a problem. And so when we think about our products, we think about marrying our products with problems that are happening in the world, because we want to be solution givers, right? We want to bring solutions to problems that are being experienced around the world. So here in Australia, these are 2022 numbers, 66% of adults are overweight. 13 million are living with overweight or obesity themselves. And in 2025, it's projected that 83% of men will be overweight and 75% of women will be overweight. But this is the one that's mind-boggling to me. And because us as adults, guess what? We choose. It's up to us, right? But our kids, 33% of children 5 to 19 will be obese. That's from your numbers here in Australia. That's, by the way, United States, 78%. So we're worse than you are. No better time than right now to have a solution to those problems. But what got us here? What's happened? Well, first of all, there's been a degradation of our food. Our diets have gone downhill. When we talk about convenience, is it really convenient when it makes you sick? Right? And so when it comes to our diets are making us sick. That convenience, that microwave thought process, anything that is fast does not have nutrition. By the way, it's like microwaves. They kill all the nutrition in your food. So since the 70s, since that device came into play, we've been going downhill in our diets. Our inactivity, we're not moving as much. When things are convenient, we're not getting up and having to go and make the food ourselves or to do those things, but we are more sedentary now than we have ever been. How about sleep? How many of you in here got 8 hours of sleep last night? I'm so glad to see some of those hands. Now, do you think you got good sleep? Was it good deep sleep? Did it really give you that healing sleep, right? Well, the majority of people are not getting good sleep because of the devices that we have. The blue light. We no longer are going to bed at a decent time without having our phones in front of our face or our televisions or our computers or something in front of us. And that blue light interferes with the proper things that we need to have happen inside of our bodies to get good sleep. And then how about all of that stuff leads to hormonal imbalance. It's not just an age thing, right? And hormonal imbalance has become more prevalent now than ever before. Aging also has a part to play, because as we age, things start to slow down and stop happening the way that they used to. I mean, there's a reason why we get achy joints. There's a reason why we get those fine lines and wrinkles, right? There's a reason why with our age. And then stress, this is a really big one, guys. If we don't find ways to manage our stress, we will be tired, we will be overweight, and we will not be able to have a thriving life. Stress, as a matter of fact, increased cortisol. As we get ready to talk about this mind-body system, if you have high cortisol levels, you will not be able to lose weight. And so we must have a lifestyle that has mindfulness, that has exercise, that has the sleep, that has the hydration, all of those things, because cortisol is a pack-rat. And it does not like to get rid of fat. As a matter of fact, fat is like its security blanket. I mean, any of you have like a little kids, or remember back when they were like 2-3 years old and they had that blanket that they didn't ever want to get rid of? Well, cortisol won't let you get rid of fat. And so if you've been struggling losing weight, it may also be something that you need to look into and checking your cortisol levels. And then, of course, our environmental effects, all of the toxicity that's in the water, that's in the air, and even ingredients in our food. If you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't be eating it because it's toxic to you. But all of those things have led to the degradation of our health. And so now with activation, we #take it to make it. This is where we empower our own bodies to make the antioxidants, the proteins, and the enzymes, and the things that you need for better health. So we're super excited to introduce to many of you tonight something that you've probably never heard of before. Dr. Dondee is going to be going in depth into this, but this is something else that we can activate. So do you want to take over from here?
Yep. Okay. And why this is so exciting, if you've heard of GLP-1 agonists before, raise your hand, or if you're familiar with them. Who's ever heard of Ozempic or Mounjaro or Wegovy? These are all GLP-1 agonists. So what they are is literally synthetic versions of the hormone your body makes that you inject lots and lots of. And it tricks your body into thinking it has a normal relationship with food. Well, how people gain weight in the first place, and we kind of have to take an aerial view. When we look at weight loss, so we look at restoring a normal, healthy relationship with food, we have to figure out how did we get there in the first place. And most of the time it's eating for convenience because we're living this busy life, or eating out of emotional eating. And I don't know what the marketing strategy is like here in Australia, but in the US, there's fast food commercials, there's junk food commercials constantly, and people are visually stimulated to eat. Do you guys have Uber Eats here? So like in America, they will show a pizza commercial. And if you've ever noticed it, and I'm not sure if they do it here, but pay attention to how they actually do this. So they'll take a piece of pizza away very slowly so that mozzarella just stretches. And you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. So you get out Uber Eats, you order it, and you have a pizza delivered and you're not even hungry. And that's really what we're talking about. When you do that over and over and over again, we lose the relationship with food. The body turns off the hormone and we don't have it anymore, and we gain weight. And it doesn't come up like, it's not like overnight you gain 40 kilos or 20 kilos or whatever it is. It's over time. But there's convenience issues and there's emotional issues. People that are eating because they're sad or they're frustrated or they're happy or whatever the case may be. And we get into this cycle and we don't need your body doesn't need the hormone anymore because you're not waiting until you're hungry to eat. You're eating emotionally or visually stimulated. And that's where the problem started. But we wanted to rechange this entire approach by actually finding a product, a two-part product that turns on that hormone again so that your body ends up being satiated when you eat. You don't need it, and it literally turns off the cravings, and that's really where we are. So GLP-1, or it's called glucagon-like peptide 1, it's a hormone your body produces. It's a hormone that your body produces when you start chewing. And so, side note, make sure you chew your food very, very well. If you've ever wondered what happens when you're chewing your food, saliva detects whether it's a fat, a carbohydrate, or a protein. And if it's a combination, what is that combination so you can make the proper stomach acid to break down that food. And that starts with chewing, which is exactly when the GLP-1 hormone is produced. And then it works in your gut, and your response with food, it causes reduced appetite and the releases of insulin. So when you're chewing food, goes down into the stomach, stretches your stomach, sends a signal to the intestines that there's food coming, get ready for the digestion of it. The intestines send a signal to the pancreas to produce insulin because we're going to be glucose that your body's cells need. That's the entire cycle. And once you have enough food, you take your last bite, this signal stops and your hunger stops. That's what it looks like when it's normally functioning. But in most people, it stopped normally functioning a long time ago, which is why we're in this process. Well, this is how we figured out what the process is. The question was, can we put natural ingredients together to turn that back on? And we found that we could. So it's the effects on the body, first in the brain. So it's called the gut-brain axis. So that your brain, your intestines, your stomach, your pancreas, and your digestive system is all communicating properly. And the reason is, it's not what you eat that matters. And as odd as that may sound, it's not what you eat that matters. It's what you digest and absorb that matters. And so it's very important that your gut, so your intestinal tract and your stomach, are actually absorbing the foods that you're eating, so you're getting the best bang for your buck and you're actually getting nutritious food. And then your liver, which is where your detox comes from, your adipose tissue, muscles, which is where glucose gets into, and your heart, your cardiovascular system, and your brain. So this entire system here is called the gut-brain axis, and where GLP-1 functions, why it's so critically important. So the take it is the body system to make that GLP-1 hormone. How much? 140% increase in that hormone by taking this product. And so what it does, restores your natural relationship with food. So after you eat, you don't have the cravings in between meals because there's no need for them anymore. You're getting the food that your cells need. You don't have the cravings. You don't have, for me, we used to love snacking, and I love celery and peanut butter. Organic celery or peanut butter was like my go-to thing. And usually a couple hours after dinner, I'd start hearing the refrigerator would actually call my name. You need Rinse peanut butter, and you need it right now. And when this product came out, I was looking at the scale, and I was just under 200 pounds, which I don't know how to feel, close to 100 kilos, I think, if I could do my math for. So please forgive the conversion factor. Well, on this product, when we start taking, because I'm on the scientific advisory board, we developed this product, we started taking it before we released it to everybody else to gather the statistics. So over 10 kilos down in 12 weeks. And I felt amazing, and I was realizing I'm not craving that celery and that peanut butter anymore, like not at all. And I was only eating the 2 meals a day that we were eating. We do what is called intermittent fasting, and I had been doing that for years. And now I'm getting the food that I need and only the food that I need, not the snacking, not the cravings, not the late night tendencies. And this is all the reason why, and transformational in mine and Marci's life. This is obviously Marci after 45 days. So this is incredible. These are some of the statistics from the double-blinded placebo-controlled trial that we did on people. 82% of people take back their relationship with food, and realizing that it's the cravings are no longer having 95% reduced sugar cravings.
This means broke the sugar addiction.
Sugar cravings, the carbohydrates involved is something key, 95% less. 96% chose smaller portions. Now you may be thinking, why? Because when your stomach is getting the food that it needs based on your body shape and style, once you've achieved that, the hunger signal stops and you stop eating. Now, I was brought up in a time where you don't leave any food on your plate. And so now you get better food choices. You're choosing smaller portions, and that happened over 96% of the time. 85% of people felt less hungry. 90% ate less at meals. Again, smaller portion size, and 85% now eat for health instead of emotions. We have the ability literally for the brain to take back that control and give it to you back. So the 4 basic results, 140% increase in this hormone on average. Lose 2 kilos in 8 weeks is typical. 11 kilos in 12 weeks was the typical relationship with food and the results that people had in the clinical trial. 100% who lost weight, maintain muscle. This is critical. Number 3 there is so critical. It's the difference between those injectable drugs and this natural product, because 2/3 of every kilo that people lose on those injectables is muscle weight. And while you're getting lighter in weight, you're getting fatter in weight and muscle to fat proportion. And that's tragic for people. Number 4, 27% reduction in visceral fat. That's the fat that surrounds your organs, that no matter how much you diet, no matter how much you exercise, no matter how long you do cardio, you cannot get to it because it's not the superficial fat, it's the visceral fat. And 5% reduction in body fat, and it's patent pending. This is so important because this is patent pending, meaning nobody can copy this, and it should be released anytime in the patent. Here are some results. So these are Marci's results, 13 weeks.
So I want to talk a little bit about my results because it's so much more than what you see in the picture. It's not just about the weight that was lost or the centimeters that was lost. It's about the relationship with the food and how you start seeing yourself and how you start talking to yourself. I'm much more kind to myself now because I see myself differently. I'm not as critical because I know that my body's working for me, and it's just a different way of your body responding. But we also did, because we were part of a trial before this was launched in the States. And so we got to use it for 12 weeks prior. And our stories was part of what helped launch this in October, the way that we launched it, which was huge, guys. I mean, we sold out of 12 weeks of product in 8 days. It was crazy how fast it went because everybody wanted what we had because of the results we were having. But we decided that not only were we going to do the before photos and all the measurements, we were going to do the before blood work and the after blood work. And in 45 days, first of all, if you haven't had blood work done recently, you don't know what's going on inside your body. I had high cholesterol and I didn't even know it. I had spent a year writing a book and had just published it. I was sedentary because I was also going to school, which I'm currently going to school. I'm in my final semester of my bachelor's for my biblical counseling. And we're building our business, right? And so I had a lot of stress going on. Well, my cholesterol dropped 31 points in 45 days. My cortisol went down 5 points. I was borderline diabetic and I didn't even know it. And my A1C dropped 0.3 points in this 45-day time period. My insulin dropped 4.8 points and glucose dropped 8 points. And so when we tell you that this is so much more than losing weight, I would actually tell you throw the damn scale away because it doesn't tell you the truth. Because transitioning and transformation don't show up on a number on a scale. Even though 5 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle weigh the exact same, right? 5 pounds, 5 pounds. But guess what? Muscle, fat. So you transform. So you may look the same or even gain weight because you can also gain muscle faster than you can lose fat. So especially in the first, 90, 120 days, you may even gain a little bit of weight because you're gaining muscle, but you are getting healthier and you are changing your body to where you actually be able to thrive. So I just really wanted to share that part of my story because that's what we're experiencing across the board in the States, is that people are transforming their health. It's not about that number on the scale. As a matter of fact, kick that thing out. Find it a place in on the back patio or in a trash can somewhere. But get yourself some measurements. Get yourself maybe even some blood work if you want to. But that was our story, and it can be yours too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marci. So just to make the other additional photos before and after, and it's very, very important to see because like Marci was saying, that transformation process, you're going to feel it. And people who haven't seen you for a while are going to see it more than you do because it's a gradual experience with you. But people who haven't seen you for a while don't, start realizing you're going to start getting compliments. You're going to start people saying things. You just look on, there's something about you. What is it? And it's a great conversation start.
Some friends of ours that we know in this business.
That's actually in New Zealand. Jeanette.
Yeah, very, very important. One of the things here, you can't hide back fat. You can't suck it back. So it is what it.
I mean, seriously, that's legit right there.
28 days there.
I'm just going to give you the quickest thing on this because this was me. I said that was me fit, and that was me fat, and I was still fit. So I was going to this beautiful lady's Pilates. I put on 20 kilos in 6 months, just menopause and I was actually heavier than when I actually was fully pregnant with my son. And now I didn't have a baby. And I thought, what the heck? So I tried everything and I ended up going on the injectables because there was literally, I was like, I can't keep doing this. I can't even tie my shoelaces. So I went on for about 16 months and was on Mounjaro. All of them. Hated it because it went against everything I was doing. And I was still doing Pilates 10 times a week. And yeah, didn't I? I did Pilates 10 times a week. But so when this came out in America, I was like, I want it. I want to go on it. I want to see. So I came off the injectables. And interesting, within 1 week, I put on nearly 3 kilos. I changed nothing. But straight away, it's like, that's what they say. Don't ever come off an injectable because all it's doing. So I was on to the formulators. I was on to the doctors because I started taking it. But my story was very different. If you want to flick. And so it's taken me a couple of months. So I'm on to the formulators going, why is it not happening? I say same as everyone else. And they were like, but you've been injecting your stomach. And it was something when you even said, who's been on antibiotics in the last 5 years? What have you put in your gut? And I was like, oh my gosh, I have literally been injecting stuff into me. So I'm on a real mission now. Now my body It's taken 3 months. So in the last month, I've lost 3 kilos, but, you know, it's dropped. And I know it works because if you show the next one, this is my husband. So now he goes on that he's spat. I'm like, for the love of God. And is obsessed with the weight scale. I'm just like, so I was so annoyed because he's like, January 1st, he lost nearly 5 kilos and nearly 5%. He doesn't need to lose 5%. He was 19.9 as it was. I was like, go away. He was like, you're not going to tell you what it did to. I don't want to know. So I know it works. And like even in Pilates, all the girls are like, oh my gosh, what's your daughter doing? I'm like, the same as me. But like my daughter's shape, because she's 19, she hasn't had babies, she hasn't done GLP, she hasn't had menopause. Her shape has completely changed. So I know it works and now I'm seeing it on me. So I just want to say I'm on a mission because so many people have rang me recently. And it's interesting, so many doctors are putting people, and we're not saying that this can cure, treat or anything, but I've had 3 different people, someone that has MS and somebody else that has osteopenia, that have heard from doctors and from American health gurus about GLP-1. They don't need to lose weight. They're like, I want to go on this natural GLP because it's going to help. And when you actually really dive into activating GLP-1, one of the side effects is weight management.
Yeah.
But it's the rest of the stuff that is insane. So that's me. That is it.
More results. And Grania just said something I want to really stress, is that when you have a normal relationship with food, you don't have health challenges. If you know what your macros are, you're eating proper protein, fats, and carbohydrates in the proper proportions for your body using natural whole food sources, you don't have things like osteopenia. Or how did you pronounce it?
She's got osteopenia.
As you don't have health challenges when you're giving your body what it needs. Because here's what I know about the body. When you equip it with what it needs to do its job, it will always, always, always respond accordingly, and health will be your outcome. But when you trick the body, or you hack the body, or you give it what you think it needs, it will always, always, always object to being tricked. And the side effects are that objection. And so when you're living naturally and vitally, giving your body what it needs, there is no such thing as disease and illness and sickness unless you're missing something. And that's the key thing we want to talk about here. So more results, real people, real results. This is Angie, a dear friend of ours.
Yeah, just keep going. See,
So this is the product that got me into this company, and Protandim NRF2, and it was antioxidants. Now, I did not take antioxidants after I injured my knee. I was on this product when I did, and I didn't understand why 5 days after an injury like mine, I could bend my knee at 90 degrees, and why I didn't understand that. I was 44 years old at the time. I had seen so many of the high school students that are athletes and patients of mine with similar injuries take about 6 weeks of time in a teenager to have the same results I had in 5 days in a 44-year-old body. And that's when I realized, what is the difference? Well, I realized that there's something called glutathione peroxidase. It's an enzyme your body releases when it's healing or when there's tissue repair necessary, and it increased 300% in my body because of taking this product, which is why I had results quicker than teenagers did. I had 5-day results in a 44-year-old body that teenagers have in 6 weeks, and it was because of that. So take Protandim NRF2 to make antioxidants, including the master antioxidant, glutathione peroxidase. Oxidative stress is critically important. But we didn't stop there. Well, here's a difference in people taking products, because you can take products, or you can take certain things to create the response, or you can make it. So when you take antioxidants, you're using a 1-to-1 ratio. And it's how many antioxidants, or you may have heard of the term called, when you're actually taking in antioxidants, it's measured in what's called an ORAC value. That's oxygen radical absorbance capacity is what ORAC stands for. The more ORAC value, the higher the value, the more antioxidants it neutralizes. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. But when you're taking this product, your body creates 1,000,000 times more antioxidants than you could ever possibly take, and in the right reason at the right time for the right proportion. Now, you would have to have or eat 400 oranges per day in order to achieve what 1 tablet in this creates within your body. God bless you. Or 500 cups of broccoli. I love broccoli. But how many days would you, if you ate 500 cups of broccoli today, I guarantee you wouldn't like broccoli tomorrow. And that's how much it would take. 110 cups of blueberries. I mean, it gets literally ridiculous. When you take the product or take something to give you antioxidants or your body makes it, which would you choose? 1 capsule of this or all of that over there? That's really how important this science is. When I saw this, I realized this was a game changer, that everybody in the world needed to know about this. And literally what it does is it reduces the oxidant or the free radical damage in your body back to the rate of a child. And so they literally drew the blood of a 20-year-old, 40-year-old, 60-year-old, 80-year-old, and they could not tell the difference in their blood under a microscope as it relates to oxidative stress. That was huge. And that's why the news media in the United States profiled this and what brought international attention to our company. So oxidative stress leads to hormonal imbalance, leads to weight gain. That's the vicious cycle. So we can lower oxidative stress, restore hormone balancing, and we lose weight, where your body gets back to its normal biological weight. And it does it with Protandim, NRF2, reducing the oxidative stress, setting up the perfect relationship for the mind-body system to balance your hormones again, leading to normal, healthy weight. Well, there's something else. Does anybody ever pray for and cannot wait to have more crow's feet or fine lines or wrinkles on your face? Or is it something where you look at yourself and you go, oh my gosh, I'm getting older? Or somebody says something to you. Nobody wants fine lines and wrinkles. Nobody wants that visual aging, but the skin, our largest organ, is one of the first things to show the aging process. It's why collagen is so powerful and so popular of a product. But back to the same situation. You can take collagen or you can make collagen, and our Healthy Glow Stack, which is these two products together, first reducing oxidative stress and then creating your body's natural production of collagen again, is really what we're looking at. And so if you are, I'm going to give you the statistic. Every decade after the age of 20, your body loses 12% of its natural collagen production. Every decade after 20, 12% reduction in your natural production of collagen. Why is that critically important? Because everything in your body contains collagen. Every muscle, every bone, every ligament, every tendon, every piece of cartilage, every joint, your cardiovascular system, your eyes, your brain, your skin, everything contains collagen. Well, how about if we turned your body's ability to make it back on again the way it did when you were younger? And erasing completely that age-related 12% loss every decade. That's exactly what we've accomplished here. And so when you take these products together, your body naturally produces an increase of 100% of its natural collagen production. Pretty amazing. These are Grania's eyes here. So January 1st, 2023, February 1st, 2023, and March 1st, 2023. Can you see the difference? The lines, the wrinkles, especially in the brow, in the middle. And so it's incredible what people can see and what people notice with these products. And it's something where you can't fake these kinds of things. This is not trick photography. This is not Photoshop. This is real results. It's what happens when your body makes the collagen again. So LifeVantage, we call ourselves Activation Nation. We are activating the products. And the whole difference between a supplement, which is taking something you're deficient in, trying to reduce deficiency or increase sufficiency, or breeding activation is your body's making those things again. Overcoming. And we got all these different categories. So our daily essentials, we have a multivitamin. We have our anti-aging. Yeah, this is the US market. Our anti-aging products with our Protandim products. Heart and eye health, Icy Bright. What is things about your eyes? Your eyes have an internal protection of blue light. So whether you're on a phone, you're on a tablet, you're on a computer, you're watching a TV like this, it increases the blue light into your eyes, which damages your eyes, interferes with the melatonin production. And many of you, I could just tell by the reflection in your glasses, many of you are wearing glasses with blue light protection on them. Inside your eyes create their own blue light protection. But that reduces as you get older. Icy Bright increases that. So our skincare, like Marci said, our hair care, energy, brain energy, incredible important thing about cognition. So thinking about neurotransmitters specifically, how your brain thinks, your mind, your mood, your attention span, or if you've ever walked into a room and go, why did I walk in here? and you have to backtrack your thinking. That is a sign of your brain's ability to maintain its neurotransmitters lagging behind. And if we can restore that efficiency, restore that focus, attention span, mood, memory, and everything else, that's exactly what our AgeWell products do. We have got some in the back you can see. Fat burn, increasing your body's ability to burn fat is incredible. Our prebiotic and our daily wellness. Prebiotic and probiotic in our daily wellness is the GI tract. Again, it's not what you eat, it's what you absorb that matters. And then lastly, our pet tandem. So for those of you who had dogs, it's reducing oxidative stress in our animals. And they age and they have oxidative stress 7 times more than human beings. So if you got an animal or if you got a canine, incredible pet tandem.
So this is our product catalog for the United States, what he just went through. There is a way for you to have that shipped to you through our global shipping program. Yet there are other, the catalog for Australia specifically is a little bit smaller than that because of approval into the country right now. So we're working on that. So this is the way that you can get activated today. Excuse me. These are the starter packs that you can get started with. We want you to be able to get your gut in line with your brain before the GLP-1 gets here, so you have the best response, so that you are ready for that GLP-1 activation. At the lowest level, our foundation is always Protandim NRF2. We will encourage you to start there every single time. And then dependent on what your availability for financial affordability, you would move up. The company put together this amazing kit start stack. This is where I would actually highly recommend the majority of you, if you have not been activated yet, get started here, because it does have Protandim, it has AgeWell, and then it has ProBio. The reason why they put those together is first, you're going to be reducing the damage inside your cells with Protandim. That is the one that reduces inflammation, as well as AgeWell, balancing your brain chemistry, and then ProBio for your gut, because guess what we're trying to connect? Before you even start My Body, we want to get that connection getting closer and closer to being proper before Mind Body's even here. So those 3 products together is a great kickstart to your Mind Body system coming, which for customers is going to be available in April. And if you want to know how to get it in March, make sure that you get with the person that invited you guys here tonight, because there is a way that you can get it in March as well. And then, of course, the Healthy Glow Stack that Dondee talked about. This is a phenomenal way as well, because one of the things you do talk about with our liquid collagen is that it is actually really important for those gut junctures, for the tightness. Collagen is responsible for that. And so if you have low collagen, then you might have things like leaky gut, right? So having that tight gut juncture is really important. So that would be a really great benefit before you start from My Body System as well. So get with whoever invited you to your channel. Let them know which one of these you'd like to get started on for your activation journey, because each one of them will give you a great, great starting point. And then, of course, the Mind Body GLP-1 system. This is what the Australia prices are going to be on subscription, and then the retail pricing. When you go on subscription, you get it for the best price, which, and we all like a good deal, right? We like things on sale. With the subscribe, then it is shipped directly to your home as well. It does not have to be delivered or picked up from anyone, which is nice. So these are the prices here. And then, of course, there's always rewards to sharing our products. So if you are someone that knows other people that might even be on the shots right now, or is looking at ways to be able to get their body into that homeostasis so they can start losing some weight, if you decided to share it with them, with just 4 people, you could be making $148. Or with 8, you could be making $367 every single month that they order. This is you just sharing it with some of your friends. And then there's also ways for increasing an income for you, where if you decided that you wanted to create a team, if you and had 2 people doing the same thing, you and 2 other people were all enrolling or sharing these products with 4 other people, you would now be making $327 each month. Or you plus 2 and then helping them do the same things. You can have an income of $578 a month with just each one of those people sharing with 4 people on the Mind Body System. But you can also see that when you share it with more, the income possibilities go up as well. So we have great rewards for sharing these products with others and helping them get activated as well. So who are we? LifeVantage. First of all, we are a debt-free company. We're very transparent. You don't have to believe anything that we say. You can go and look us up. Our ticker is LFVN. We are on the NASDAQ in the United States. We have over 20 years of manufacturing experience. Our CEO, Steve Fife, he's a brilliant man. He has made decisions that has us at that debt-free status, but now we're also making significant investments. Thank you. Break investments into our future product catalog, because there's more activators that will be coming, as well as in tools for us to be able to share this information when it comes to technology, which is fantastic. We've been recognized by all kinds of different news sources, whether it's magazines or it's been on television itself. And, you know, we can't tell you to buy stock, but this is what our ticker looks like. And this has just been since the time that we launched the mind-body system in October in the United States. We've gone from here to up here, which is really kind of cool. That is equivalent of from $6 a share up to the almost $24 a share. This is an amazing group that if you're on social media, on Facebook, you could be added to this if you would like. You could just get with the person who invited you here tonight and ask for an invitation into this VIP group. We actually just started January 1st, a 12-week challenge where we have people in the States that are using the product that are also onto it challenged, where they can actually make a lot of money by being the winners. We have over about 40,000 in cash and prizes that is up for grabs right now. But the cool part about being in this group for you is for you to be able to watch people's stories, to be able to see what's happening, to learn more about these products, and just really get the social proof and understanding that, hey, this works in so many different ways for so many different people. Not to mention we have all kinds of education in there. We have all kinds of meal plans and lots of support that we're helping people with too. Plus, it gives you a really great idea on seeing the culture of this company because we all work together. As a matter of fact, Dondee and I, we don't have anybody that's part of our team or part of our income stream that comes from Australia. We just have family that live here that are building this business. Because once you become part of LifeVantage, whether it's as customers or as someone that's sharing the products, we are more of a family than we are anything else. And that's why Dondee, when they reached out to us and they asked us if we would come here 13 days before we were going to fly, we said absolutely. We would love to come and work with the people here. And to be able to share what we are so passionate about and what we have seen change so many people's lives. And so I also want to thank all of the leaders that are here in this room, because each and every one of you have made an impact on our lives. And you have welcomed us with open arms and just so much love. And we are so grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you for welcoming us into your Aussie family.